Welcome to the Bambie Nicole Show. Girls, this is a heart to heart for you and a conversation that I promised. I'm going to be out here doing a lot of videos for our community, for girls, so that I can get some of you all educated, because I know that there's not a lot of girls out there that are truly educating you about this process that I'm going to educate you about, because I feel like I wish somebody would have educated me. Today's topic is going to be about butt shots, silicone pumping, and silicone injections. And yes, I know that some of you may get pissed off at me, and I understand that. But you know what? Maybe I might save a life having this discussion with you. And I don't judge you if you've went and already been pumped, or if you've had silicone, or even if you plan to get it. I just want you to have a little bit of information and background as to what I've experienced with girls that I've known personally that have been pumped. Because here in Atlanta, I'm going to be honest with you. If you're educated behind silicone injections, you will know that they started off, I believe, after World War II with prostitutes from Asia that were trying to seduce the army men. And so they were getting bootleg injections of silicone into their breasts, into their rear ends. And so this has been going on for a long period of time. And actually, girls, it was around in the heterosexual community, started off with prostitutes before it ever even hit the transgender community. So I want you to have a little bit of background, meaning that when I come off at you and talk to you about something, I'm educated to it. Don't think that I don't have my facts together when I come in front of a camera to talk to you. Now, before I get into my discussion, and when I tell you that I've known a lot of girls that have been pumped, all the girls here, most of the girls in Atlanta, and most of the girls across the United States have had silicone injections, because there is no reason really why you're getting silicone unless you're trying to rush the process. And I've got one thing to say to you. Transition itself is a long term. This is a long process. So I understand that when you've been on therapy for 5-6 years, even just I understand you want those physical results. And like I said, I haven't developed ginormous results, but I've developed tasteful results naturally. I didn't decide to go pumped. Yes, I was at a point in time in my life planning to go get pumped, and I have a story. Now, before I get into the silicone injections, I want you girls to look into this book. It's called Beyond Face Value. Now, this is from a personal friend of mine, Raji Narendra. I don't know how to say her last name. I'll put this up here so that you can see it. Okay. Now, this book was sent to me personally from a girl that was pumped with silicone. Now, she had silicone pumped into her face. She had silicone pumped into every crevice of her body. And the unfortunate thing is, please get this book, Beyond Face Value, and educate yourself to silicone. She was pumped with Fix-A-Flat. Yes, Fix-A-Flat. Now, she thought that she was getting legitimate silicone. A girl named Duchess, pumped her and ended up pumping Fix-A-Flat mixed with, I believe, baby oil, and covered up the holes with super glue. Now she is permanently disfigured for life. I'm angry because every time that I've met a girl in my community that's been pumped, yes, your results are fabulous right away. What about you down the line? What about the results down the line? What are you going to do when you've been pumped with silicone in your cheek and it hangs down in your jaw in 10 years? Now, I know 10 years seems like a long time to you, but by the time that you've developed cancer from silicone injections, because 90% of the girls that I've ever met, I'm be honest with you, 95% of the girls that I've ever met have had some kind of problem down the line from silicone injections. I promise you, if you don't have them now, give your body some time, because you're pumping a foreign object into your body that's mixing with your bloodstream, and it's absolute poison. But you're in a dire need to feel how you are on the inside, and I understand that. And this video may piss some of you off. I don't care. I might save a life out there. I might save somebody from going and getting this done. Now, like I told you, when I was 22 years old, I was a big show queen all over Atlanta, and I had a promoter that was going to pay for me to get $600 of silicone, my first round, into my breasts, into my cheeks, into my hips. Now, I know it doesn't seem like a lot because girls, anybody that knows the community knows you don't get a lot of silicone at once. You go, you get pumped a little bit, you massage it, you wait for it to heal. And by the way, I want you to know what it feels like to be pumped. It's like liquid fire. You feel your tissues and everything else rip apart as they're taking this turkey baster needle, jabbing it into you. And God forbid they don't have any medical training because you'll die right there on the table, by the way. And they're pumping this into you. So you feel like you're on liquid fire. Let me tell you something else about silicone injections. Silicone injections will not soften you. They will not feminize you. I promise you that. The only thing silicone can do is add. Okay? So if you haven't taken hormones for very long, think about that. You've got a male nipple, no development on your areola, and you're getting silicone pumped into your male chest. So now you've got breasts and still that male look. And it's not going to give you what hormone therapy can give to you or what going to a doctor and seeking whatever can give to you. Now, I know that, like I said, you may have silicone injections. It may last in your system your whole life. You may never get a problem. And there is some medical grade silicone out there. But a lot of times what you're getting is you're getting something from Home Depot purchased, getting diluted with peanut butter oil, with baby oil. They're mixing it up. They're calling the girls and saying, let's have a pumping party. I'm telling you, because I've been in this community for a long time. I'm telling you, I know what goes on. And most of the time, it's so bootleg, you're having to go get pumped in a hotel. Now, do you even know if the needles are sterile? Do you truly know who's pumping you? Because the pumpers tend to go from state to state to state to state to state to do this. And I understand that it's attractive to think about the now and say, well, you know what? I haven't taken hormones for 10 years, so I'm not going to be, finish my female puberty. I don't have $5,000 for implants, but I've got $500 and I can go see this queen and she can pump me and instantly I can have results. And yes, like I said, there are some very beautiful instant results. However, you're not thinking about the long term. And to be honest with you, you're only thinking about yourself, because how many people are you going to affect in 10 years from now when, like I said, you've been pumped with silicone in your cheek, it's down in your jaw, or it's in your breast, and it's down in your ankle, and you've developed cancer or you're dying. I want to tell you the story of why I decided not to get pumped and got out of the show queen business. I have a very close friend of mine, Kyra. Now, Kyra is a girl, fabulous entertainer in Georgia, okay? Now, we were supposed to go together to go get pumped in Mississippi. She went and got pumped. I happened to get sick. I couldn't go. She got pumped. Nice size boobies, nice size this. And I believe she got injections in her rear end. I know she had breasts. She didn't have breasts when she went on the trip. When she came back, she had breasts. A year later, she ended up in the emergency room and had to get a mastectomy on her one breast. Now she only has one breast. The rest of it is complete. And by the way, when they scrape silicone out of you, you will be disfigured and you won't have any kind of chest because they scrape the nipple off. They scrape the inside of you out. They have to scrape everything. You are going to have a hole in your chest. And she developed cancer. I want you to look up another video. It's on here. It's called Silicone Gone Wrong. And this is about a girl that had a girl she was pumping die on her table. And I want you to hear that story. Another girl that I knew, her name was, actually I've known several. I'm only bringing about a couple because I want you to know that I'm educated on this. And I'm not just talking to you something out of my ass, that I'm telling you something that's real. Miss Cora. Now, she was a post-op transsexual. And I'll be honest with you, when I used to have to perform with her, she stunk so bad. She smelled like she had a sex change operation. I don't know what happened with her surgeries. They mutilated her, but you could smell, she stunk to high fucking heaven. Anyway, She had silicone pumped into her breasts, okay? And I believe it was in the 80s. Today, the only thing that she has to show for it is red scarring across her chest. She was another one that had to get her silicone removed. Then there was another famous show queen that used to do Madonna all the time. Her name was Amanda. She was another post-op girl that I knew. And she looked like she must have had silicone pumped into her in the 90s. Okay, this was 10 years later. It looked like lumpy oatmeal, okay? And her breasts made her miserable. They were hard. They were lumpy. They looked disgusting. She couldn't move them, and they absolutely made her miserable. Why? Because she had to have it now. Girls, I'm not going to tell you what to do with your life because I love you and I want to see you in the best transition that I can. But I'm telling you, just think about the long-term effects before you get pumped with silicone. Before your mentality is, hold up, wait a minute, let me pump some silly in it. Think about the long term. Because I love you all so much and I'm tired of seeing my sisters die or be disfigured. Anyway, thank you for tuning in to the Bambie Nicole Show. I love you all. Have a wonderful day.